Hey guys, Moto ready here. So welcome to my channel. I wanted to make another follow-up video to talk about couple of issues which I forgot to mention in my previous video, and I promise this is going to be the last of the issues video in this series. So the first one I want to talk about is the storage compartment here. So there's a storage compartment. It is not lockable, so it's just something for you to put your stuff. Of course, valuables should not go in here and so on. And I think this is an afterthought, and I say that it's an afterthought because when the Honda engineers and designers got together to building this bike, right, the Goldwing has an airbag, and it's the only model that has an airbag, or only motorcycle that has an airbag. And this is where the airbag would go in the airbag model right here. And somebody in the accounting department would have said, hey guys, while the airbag models do sell, they don't sell a lot, so we also need to offer a non-airbag version. And so then the engineer asks, what do we do with this space? And someone says, let's put a storage compartment here. It's an afterthought because Honda wants you to put your phone in here. And the issue there is, well, there is no cooling or there's no venting in here. It's just a space or a storage area which is right above the engine, okay? And Goldwing is an internal combustion engine, right? It's an 1833cc beast, and it does generate heat. And what happens is, if you actually put your phone in there and get the lid closed, depending on which part of the world you are in, so for example, if you're down south or more close to the equator, like for example here in Texas, in peak summer it gets really hot, right? 95, 100, 102, 103 is quite common. And if you go on an extended ride, and if you have your phone in there with the lid closed, for sure your phone will get fried because it gets really hot in there. But again, if you are somewhere up north, more towards a pole, where the summers are fairly mild, I don't think it may be an issue. So it's important for me to call it out because if you're really someone who's not very aware of this issue, if you really put your phone in there and ride for an extended period of time, your phone will stop to work. Now, the fix or a workaround for this is fairly straightforward. What I do really is I keep my phone in the phone holder here, and then the cable for the Android Auto, I just plug it to my phone, and I kind of keep the lid open all the time while I'm riding. And that's perfectly okay with me because this area really is a pocket of calm, meaning the lid doesn't get lashed in the wind. No matter how gusty the wind is, this may sway a little bit here and there, but it doesn't really get lashed, so it's not going to compromise the hinge in any way. And that's how I ride most often. Of course, when it is raining, of course I don't always ride in the rain, right? It's very rare that I actually get caught in rain, and when it's raining I just put my phone in there and then I'll close the lid. But most often, almost 98% of the time, I have the lid open with my phone in the phone holder here. And it helped me in another way. There were times I used to put my phone in the storage compartment here, and what happens is when I stop in the gas station for a bio break, or when I have to go to a restaurant for food, most often I've always forgotten my phone. And once I go in, that's when I realize, okay, I've left my phone in here and I have to rush back to actually secure my phone, because keep in mind, this is not lockable, so you really don't put your valuables in here. So having the phone right in the phone holder here just reminds me to get my phone along with me wherever I go. So something I wanted to mention again, it's a fairly straightforward workaround. I also understand that there are some other more sophisticated options to keep this space offer some cooling and so on. Like I think there's a vendor that offers some fan and things like that. Well, if you want to go that route, perfect, go for it. But in my case, I just have my phone in the phone holder, and that's really solves the problem. Okay, the final one when it comes to issues I want to mention is the brake dust in the back wheel is quite much. So what I mean by that is the the brake dust is, if about 500 miles or so, you'll notice that there's a lot of brake dust that accumulates in the back wheel, and so you have to clean it once every 500 to 1000 miles, and that's what I do to kind of keep the back wheel clean. Again, if you're somebody who doesn't really worry about your back wheel being clean, then it's really not a problem. But as much as I'm obsessed with riding the bike, I'm also obsessed with keeping the bike clean. So I clean it once every 500 to 1000 miles. So in this case, I cleaned it about 3 weeks ago, and I've been on a couple of 200 mile rides, and you can already see the amount of brake dust that's gotten accumulated in the back wheel. But it's fairly easy to clean. It's work, but you can definitely keep it clean. And I do it once every 500 to 1000 miles, or once every 3 to 4 weeks. So something I wanted to mention, in my case, the brake pads are still stock. It's almost 20,000 miles, but you can still see the amount of brake dust that's formed here. So something I wanted to mention, again, really not an issue as such, but if you're really obsessed with keeping your wheels clean, then yeah, you are up to some work once in a while. So that is pretty much it, guys. So if you like content like this, feel free to like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Thank you.